Thank you to Avery for sponsoring this episode. Dana, welcome to Realistic Happiness Podcast.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
If I'm tuning into this episode, what can I learn from you today?
I would like for people who listen to this episode to know that they have the power to impact and create their reality through the highs and the lows. And I believe we can do it when we notice our own limitations, those things that actually keep us away from the reality we want. And I call it breaking cages, because those cages, once we notice them and we break free from them, we can be closer to that reality we want to create in our life.
And talking about breaking cages, this is your new book, Breaking Cages, and it talks about the mental cages that we have. What are they?
I talk about 4 cages in this book. The perception bias cage, which means that we come to the world and look at it through our own eyes. But could it be that sometimes what we see is not really what reality shows us, or we interpret it in a way that doesn't really benefit us, sometimes in more like judgmental tone, or seeing backdrops as failures instead of stepping stones into success, right? So how to change those biases that we look through. And then the second cage is about our shadow cage, those sabotaging beliefs and fears, and a few more things I'm talking about that really control us without us knowing. Then there is the comfort cage, which keep us in our convenient life. And maybe if we are not so tuned to what we are doing, we can feel that not so satisfied. But when we are brave or allowing ourselves to step out of the comfort cage, then we can really be tuned and happy in our own lives. And then the last one is about the automated thinking cage, which is how do we manage our mind when things don't go our way and not fall into that automated thinking that maybe is not helping us. And I'd love to talk about it and how I got there.
Yes, please, because I can relate. Every cage you were mentioning, I was like, yes, yes. Can we have all the cages?
We'll probably go to all of the cages. There are probably even more that I haven't mentioned and I am not aware of, or each one of us have different ones. But I feel like these are the ones that I came to really expose in my path. So those are the ones I care to talk about and feel like they are meaningful to break free from.
And breaking free sounds exciting, but it's really scary, as you've experienced.
It's scary, and it's a really introspective process where you really learn to meet yourself first. So I actually started this journey of breaking cages when I decided to leave everything familiar in 2019, when I had a life that I think a lot would aspire. I was happy in my life, but I felt something was missing, something crucial. And at that point, working for Johnson & Johnson for 5 years as a business development specialist, having, the time to do what I loved, all the benefits from having prestige position, but feeling that this is not what's life about. And I thought, okay, I'm ready to quit. I'm ready to look what is it that I need to do in this world. And I felt like I'm always attracted to making this life meaningful and not only following my dreams, but really living life that I want to live. And if this is what I care for, how can I help others achieve that too? So I knew this is my goal. That's my intention for my life, helping others live their life as they need, as they want. But how do I do it? So I quit my job. And then luckily I have met a group of nomad people. Now, before even meeting them, I was really comfortable with traveling the world by myself. I was flight attendant. So living on my own out there to the world was natural to me. But coming to the conclusion, I'm not only going to quit my job and start my business in my familiar place, but leaving everything and trying to explore where is it that I'm going to start my new life with my new message to the world is more interesting and maybe opening more doors. And I think meeting those nomads kind of inspired me to just set free from that place. So I took a one-way ticket with no minimal plans ahead. I just knew I'm going to start in Europe, I'm going to continue to the US, and possibly meet a business partner later on who might be able to partner with and create our vision together, where we create a space for people to come and learn how to create their desired life. But luckily, along this journey, before even meeting this business partner, just traveling in Europe, I went to some retreats and encountered very interesting people. And through them, I think that's where I first learned to see those cages that I had. So not allowing myself even to bring my unique gifts to the world. Even in my own country where I'm coming from, I felt this is what I want to do, but maybe where people already know me and have expectations of who is Dana and what she needs to be, I couldn't feel like I could shift to being someone else, not that business development specialist, but someone who brings different ideas and gifts to the world. So it was like a breaking cage of those limiting beliefs. And then, meeting people who inspired me to be authentically myself, going through experiences that showed me that I can change my perspective on things. I've learned really basic or known ideas maybe that you all know about, but when you start shine light on them, you actually see how powerful they are. Like the concept of playfulness. So you allow yourself to make mistakes and be playful. Or gratitude, which was always part of my life, but even putting more light on the gratitude aspect and being focused on what's good in my life. I was very judgmental, so how to bring more compassion to my life, to myself. Those were a few elements that I've learned along the way. And I think that's what helped me to really shift myself and then come with those lessons, meet the business partner I was supposed to meet, but realize we are not a good match. So we departed ways when we were in Santa Monica in LA. And then I had to realize I have to move on my own and bring this message that I needed to bring. And the book was one of the way to bring it out there.
So it sounds like, because Johnson & Johnson, sales, prestigious role, it does sound like the dream for most people, right? And then you decided to move away from all of that and go out into the world curious, like you said, playful, with zero expectations, right? Going to Europe. I presume you didn't go to Europe before?
No, I was in Europe a lot before.
Okay. And then you went there essentially to meet a business partner, etc. And something interesting you mentioned before was that a lot of us live in autopilot, right? We have these autopilot thoughts. We have these autopilot lives where we, I presume, same as Johnson & Johnson, your role there, you were like getting up, working, whether it's commuting in traffic, walking your dog. We all have these like autopilot routines and ways of living. How do we break free from that? Because you did it and it sounds really, really scary, but how do we actually break free from that?
So that's an interesting question. I think it has two aspects. The first is like the big picture of how do we live our convenient life and maybe that look on the outside perfect and move to the life that we really aspire to. And then the other one is how do we change this automatic thinking on the small day-to-day life when we, for example, stand in traffic and our mind is already dropping into a cycle of thoughts that are not helping us. So if I address the bigger aspect of it, how do I come out of my convenient life, is asking really, is it really making me happy? Do I feel in place? I think you sometimes don't even need to ask because you have this internal voice starting to wake up and telling you something is off. You are not where you need to be. I mean, if you listen to yourself, then you will hear it. And I think for me, it became very obvious after already 3 years working in the corporation world that it's not for me. And it took me another 2 years to quit. So it wasn't like a one-thing move to explore. What is it that I want to do then? And keeping the promise I had for the little girl inside me when I was 10 that I promised her I'm not going to waste my life on doing things I don't love. So coming back at 35 and telling her it's time for you to come back and show up, the little girl, and live the life you want. And it's coming to being loyal to yourself. And the second thing is asking yourself why. Why is it is something I want to do, or why is this important to me? And when you start asking why, then you realize, yeah, because what ignites passion in me is something different. And it's kind of start motivating you. And when you got this motivation, I know why. I know why I want to quit my job, because there is something bigger for me. There is something that's more right for me. Then you go and do it, because you already got to that core essence of yours. So it's easier to step out. Of course, also it will help to surround yourself with people who maybe have done this before, and learn about what you want through different talks with people. I took a lot of courses, so I really got out to explore what is it that I want before quitting my job. And living the life, the convenient life, I think it was a bit easy for me, because I was trusting my path so much that I knew just leaving everything behind is actually my best chance to find what I was looking for. So I looked at it as an exciting thing, and I was curious about it. Also, I realized that in many ways my mind was my best tool to achieve my dreams, but in many ways it was holding me back. And I knew that staying where is familiar and around the society and people I always knew is not going to bring anything new to me. So only when I was going out and exploring maybe in the outside world, but also allowing deeper exploration inside, it was eye-opening. And regarding the other way, so how do we change our mindset or breaking free from that automated thinking on the day-to-day? For example, when we stand in traffic, right, on the way to an important meeting, and you think, I'm driving, Google Maps shows that I need to be there in 10 minutes, but oops, no, there is a car stuck just in front of me, and in front of it there is another car stuck, and nothing is moving. And your mind is like, but this cannot happen, right? And I need to be somewhere else. What are they going to think about me? Now what happens is your mind starting to drop into a cycle where automatically this is where it would go. Both because your amygdala wakes up, because it thinks now you are facing a threat, even though we are not like living in the caveman anymore, and the threat we used to experience back then, where amygdala would step in and would keep us safe. Now this same amygdala wakes up when we are standing in traffic. For that amygdala, for our brain, stress is stress. So that's why it awakes those kind of negative thoughts, like it's danger, something is wrong, do something, or stop, or run, right? And when you are in traffic, that amygdala takes over, and it starts also emotions in your body, fear of what's going to happen if you are late. And it's a cycle that it's hard to break free from, but I think the first idea is to really notice first what's happening within you. So if you are now in traffic and all of those thoughts start rolling inside of you, and those emotions, notice. And it's hard to notice because you're already in that cycle. So I would say start asking yourself, what's happening with me? What's alive in me? And even start asking those questions, not when you're stuck in traffic or something bad is happening, but like on the day-to-day, even when you're making your coffee in the morning and you ask yourself, how am I? Is everything okay? Where are my thoughts? And, normally you might say, yeah, all good. But maybe sometimes you will see that, you know what? Something is off. Yeah, I had this fight with my partner earlier, and now I feel it weighing down on me. Or now when you are in traffic, you ask, what's alive in me? Or how am I feeling? Oh no, something is shifting badly. Okay, let's notice this. And now let's start managing our emotions. Let's try to give them more space. I need to scream a bit, or I don't know, release this energy, this upsetness that's building up. Let's play a song and sing along and scream if we want with the song and feel already better. And breathe. And then we can start shifting our mind and ask questions that can lift our perception. Questions like, what can I do to feel better? Or maybe how is it going to be okay even if I'm coming late? I almost came late here, and I thought, you know what, but I'm going to take the time, even though I'm late, to breathe and to think of how I'm going to make this episode even better and use this time in a way that is beneficial to me. So it's like really playing a reality game where you don't let reality, being stuck in traffic, dictate how you feel, but you walk with it until managing your mind, managing your emotion, until you shift back and come back to reality in a different approach. And then reality responds in a different way.
Yeah, it's paying attention to your emotions and understanding the roadmap, right? It's like, I saw this quote recently that was amazing about whenever you take a journey, if you want to go on holiday or you want to travel, you look at a map and understand how to get there. Google Maps, the best route, the quickest route, the most scenic route, right? Whilst when we try to better ourselves, we don't explore like this. We don't look within. We are afraid to look at the map, the emotions, because when we don't know what we're starting with or where we're going or reflecting our emotions, like how can we go through that mindset path or that wellness path when we don't know where we're going or what we're starting with? So I really like the concept of just sitting with yourself, even if it's awkward or uncomfortable, like in traffic, like, or even standing in line, queuing, or being behind a very slow walker. I get that feeling all the time. I'm just like, what is this person doing? And it's more about you, isn't it? It's not about that other person. It's about you.
Oh, completely. Yeah, it reminds me even once walking behind a person who smoked, right? And I'm taking all the smoke from him. And I'm like, that's really upsetting. But wait, you know what you can do? Just move aside, walk a bit faster, and walk before him, not behind him. And then you are taking again charge of your experience. You don't have to take that smoke from the other person. You can just, change your location in that experience, and the experience is better. Sometimes it's just an easy move to take, and instead of starting to blame others and
getting back into that autopilot negative loop. Something you mentioned earlier about your prestigious job, this lifestyle, and still feeling something was missing. Did you ever feel like you were being greedy? Because when I was kind of on this self-discovery journey, and when I speak to other people, when this realization kind of comes, so you had it for 3 years and then you quit after 2 years, that's 5 years you were sat with that emotion. Sometimes we can feel like, am I just being a bit too greedy? Do I want too much from my life?
No, this never came to me. For me, it was different because I knew that if I'm gonna live this life only once, it would be just such a waste to live it in an authentic way, in a way that's here to please others. So, and also really giving out my gifts to the world is actually my best way to give more. It reminded me a quote from Miriam Williamson, who had spoken about how we are not afraid from our fears and darkness, but more of our light. And something actually related to back then when I wanted to quit my job, I knew that actually it's tough for me to shift position, knowing that I have so much more to gift, but like, who am I to come out to the world as a different person now and do other things, even though I know I can bring so much more. So I kind of felt like, that something was closing on me, and that was something I had to break free from. And it was kind of the opposite from greediness, but more like, if I'm not gonna do that, I'm gonna not only hurt myself, but also keep something away from the world that maybe I can give it.
The quote you mentioned about being afraid of the light, I've never heard of that before.
Oh, really? Yeah, so I heard it, just as I quit my job, I was going to this course called Rebirth. And I felt like it was a process I was going to go through, like rebirthing. And our instructor read that, and that like hit something really sensitive in me, because once I heard it, like, what am I afraid of my light? Like, that's like light bulb that comes into light, because this is actually how I feel. How could it be that this is what scares me? How could it be that I am closing on something that is good within me. So I'm happy to share that with you. I think it's very powerful, and it's definitely helped me shift my perspective and understand that there is something that I need to let myself be.
Yeah, it's the unknown, isn't it? Like, because even if you do have this desire to help people or explore the world and travel or do a different profession and pivot, yeah, you've never done it before. So you get this crazy imposter syndrome and like that automatic loop again, like, why are you going for that? You don't know that.
Yeah.
Why bother? Just stick with what you know. And it's also like the hedonic kind of treadmill as well, when you're kind of like, so there's like two things playing at once, right? Like the familiarity, the comfort. You're like, okay, I like this. But then you also have the hedonic treadmill where it's like you kind of get bored of the familiarity as well. And you want to explore this new thing and the light that's within you. So we're always like, it feels like there's two brains and we're always just fighting with each other.
Who's gonna win?
Yeah, who's gonna win? Exactly. I know you want to know the next bit, but just give me one moment. If you're not hiring right now though, skip the next 60 seconds. This guy won't be offended. I've spent enough time in recruitment to know the pain points firsthand. The endless LinkedIn tabs, the where did I put that CV from last month moments, the awkward team meetings where everyone has a different idea of what we're hiring for. That's why when I first heard about Avery, I had that rare, finally, someone gets it feeling. What I appreciate the most, it actually connects all the places candidates already exist. Pulling from LinkedIn, Indeed, plus digging through your existing database to find people you've already talked to. You know, the ones who slipped through the cracks when timing wasn't quite right. The real game changer for me was seeing actual market data before posting a job. Turns out my salary expectations were way off my last hire. Would have been nice to know that before spending weeks interviewing people I couldn't afford. Look, I'm not going to pretend hiring will ever be completely painless, but having everything in one place with real insights instead of guesswork, that's worth talking about. There's a link below for a free month if you're in the middle of hiring hell right now. If not, just file this away from when you inevitably are. Now, back to what we were discussing.
It's a journey, and I think it takes braveness, but also understanding that we can let the ego a bit aside and understand that, okay, maybe we will fail on the way. Maybe it's going to be scary. Maybe we will face challenges, but maybe it's all worth it and we will come out stronger and, again, more in tune with ourselves. So it's a journey that's worth going through, I think.
So in your book as well, you explain that, and you've mentioned some of this before as well, that we can control our minds and the outcomes.
Yeah.
How can we actually do that?
Right. So yeah, I think that's my favorite topic. And again, there is the bigger picture and the smaller picture. I think when we are thinking about creating reality that we like achieving our dreams, just yesterday I guided a workshop about vision, creating a vision board. And I think first of all, when we want to create our reality, it's important that we will be in tune to what we want and set our intentions. And sometimes it's not so easy. What I saw yesterday in the group of incredible women, that it was hard for them to see what they really want, to step out from the aspect of being a mother for 10 years or being the one that serves everyone, and actually look into what I want. So it's really coming back to what do I want actually, and then setting those intentions in a way that's clear to us. And then it's also about how do we shed those limitations that's actually stopping us from getting there. So it's not only going to achieve those intentions, also looking inward and see, is there anything that's stopping me from getting there? So maybe beliefs that I am not allowed and I need to get some permission, or those are fears, like we said, of failure, or masks that I have to put on to show someone that I'm someone that can get others happy and satisfied, because that will keep everyone happy. So it's noticing those things that get in our way from achieving our dreams. It's about really asking, why do we want to achieve those dreams, and find emotional connection to them. So then we get the drive. And yeah, and it's about maybe sometimes changing our perception and how realizing that the world, the universe is here to support us in achieving those dreams. It's a bit like, actually there is a part in our brain even that help you achieve your goals when you vision what you want to get. So for example, you want to have a red car, right? And you have a picture of red car on your vision board, or you start imagining, I want a red car, and you start like practicing this image in your mind. First of all, your mind, when it sees that image, it doesn't know if it actually happened or not, because once it sees it, it's like reality. So that already helps it to live that life as if you have a red car. But also it ignites a part in your brain that kind of shut off the noise of things that are not related to red car. And then when you see something that is like, oh, there is a course about how to build a red car, you will notice it because you have set your mind to look in that direction. All of a sudden, opportunities pops because you just noticed them, not because they weren't there all the time. So that's part of visioning as well. We actually have a way to create our reality, and it starts within us. And then the other thing is when it's also very hard for us to realize that when things don't go our way, we also have the power to impact them. You know, when you feel that you wake up in the morning and you should have just kept on sleeping because it's the worst day. Even then, if you allow yourself to explore those experiences, and as we mentioned before about the automated thinking, and come into those negative experiences, experiencing them without judgment, without like, I shouldn't be upset, or without pushing our emotion or ignoring them, then we can start shifting those experiences. So for example, when I was traveling in this one-way ticket, and I told you I was supposed to meet a business partner, and we actually met in San Francisco. We even decided to buy a car together and go on a road trip while we are starting to explore the business and how we're going to build it. But after 2 weeks, we realized it's not working well between us, and we had to set apart. At that point, I was in Santa Monica with no place to live, no idea what I'm going to do next, because I set out on a journey to the unknown, so I didn't plan any more of my future. So I was really, that could be a really transitioning point between, okay, this is the end of this journey because I'm in Santa Monica, I have nowhere to be, I've got no idea what to do next. Maybe it's time to go home because that's the end of the road. But at that point, I could also see that I'm going through something hard right now, and get those emotions out, and maybe cry, and maybe journal and write about what I'm feeling, and let myself be in that pain. And then when I'm ready to come and ask, what is really important for you here? And I realized, okay, I really wanted to start a business with my business partner and open a space together where people can come and train their minds. But was the goal to open this space with a business partner, or to actually give this message to people and shift their thinking? And if that's the goal, maybe I can let go of that one way this could manifest with this business partner and find different ways together. So I started writing a book, and suddenly I started writing a book, and then a space became free for me to live in Santa Monica. And I had all the time in the world to actually write about it and do what I really wanted. Then life opened new doors for me. So this is how you can also shift when things don't go your way, and you'll be surprised, maybe it's actually happened even for the better.
I recently had a conversation similar to this, and basically this person messaged me and he said, I need your help. So I kind of dug in. I don't know who this person is. I dug in deeper, and I said, what, are you okay? What's up? And basically he said, like, you need to throw me a lifeline. Like, if you don't help me, I don't know what I'm going to do and stuff like that. So a big burden on my behalf, and I didn't know who this person was. And you mentioned about mindset shifting and being in control of what you can control, right? So what would you say to him?
I wonder what you said to him, but I think I would first invite him to explore what's going on there and what is it that he is going through. And for sure, it cannot be that you are the one that's going to save him, or it's all about you. It's giving him the realization that he is holding the key to how he wants to shift his life. And now it's what's holding you back from having the life you want, or what's the thing that's weighing down on you. So maybe I would just help him notice that the key is in his hands by asking him some questions of what's happening in your mind right now, how do you feel, what would help you find relief, and then maybe let him take those emotions out, and then be maybe more able to come with more logical thinking and shifting his mind with other questions that shift his perspective.
Yeah, one of the answers I gave him was that even elite sport athletes, or general sports athletes as well, people who seek career coaches, any type of coach, doesn't fix your issue or tell you what to do. They always help you self-discover, because you always have the answer within. So even if you do work with a career coach, a business coach, right, a sports coach, a fitness coach, they never do the work for you.
They show you how to do the work yourself.
Exactly. We're so powerful. And I feel like this blockage, I think a lot of people have this, actually. I don't think he's the only one. This is why I wanted to ask, because I remember 10 years ago when I felt completely like in the UK, completely stuck. I had this routine. I used to go binge drinking every Friday with my friends because the work day was pretty tough the whole week. And that was like my outlet. And I was on a certain salary. I was in my hometown. And like, you just feel completely powerless until you take that bold step, even if it's just one. But for me, it was like you. It was like booking that flight to Amsterdam and just being like, okay, okay, I don't want to cancel it. I'm going.
And it was also one-way ticket, kind of? Wow.
Yes, at the time it was £60, which is quite cheap. It was 7 years ago. And I don't look back. I mean, similar situation to you. When I got here, I was really excited. I was like, fresh, new, novelty. And then after 2 weeks, it settled. Like, this is not a holiday. This is life. And making friends, a professional network, getting a job, a routine. How do I open a bank account? All of the real life realizations and how lonely I was, and my friends were back at home. I could easily just do the normal and go back and go binge drinking with them every Friday again. But instead, going through that uncomfortableness, like, look at it now. I've been here 7 years. Work is thriving. Everything's going well. I'm married, etc. I have 2 cats. Like, things played out really well, but it's that patience, isn't it? Breaking that cage and the patience to even go through the plan and trust yourself. It's really tough.
Understanding that there are challenges on the way. So you need to open a bank account. It's not going to be so easy maybe to make new friends. But I think it's the patience and trusting that path and keeping curiosity. And I can say that before leaving my country, I was a big dream chaser. So I felt really comfortable that I'm going to achieve my goals. But when things didn't go my way, I would crash. I really didn't know how to manage myself. I would be like a little kid who, someone taking their ice cream, and I would, from a little thing like failed date or having a bad day, I would crash in bigger things as well. So going on that journey, I had to really shift that, because you are facing so many challenges when you're leaving this comfort zone, right? And these are not like minor challenges like a failed date. It's like having a loneliness I've never felt in my life, or finding yourself out there with nothing really. So I think, it was that keeping that intention always clear. I'm here for something bigger. So I'm trusting that this little setback, this challenge, is not gonna ruin everything. And it's a big mind shift for me, because again, until that point, those things would get me crash. But now I had to understand that I have to take charge of myself and my reality, and the external is just not going to tell me how I'm going to feel and it's not gonna get me back on a flight to my home. No, that even though it's not going as smooth as I hoped, I'm gonna shift it differently. So it was very powerful to understand that. Yeah.
Is there something that we haven't talked about, whether it's in your book or with your experience, that you feel like it's really important to share with the listeners?
I think I'd like to say that the first step that really helped me to shift my perspective and, you know, come across those cages from the first place was realizing that I should not believe every first thing my mind is telling me. That, you know, I grew up thinking being monogamist is the only way to be. I still like want to go that way, but exploring different ways, just to know that you don't have to believe everything that you've been told. Trying to explore playfulness, dancing. I would be so shy and ashamed to, you know, go try new things, but now I love ecstatic dance, and I've learned that just expanding my perception, trying new things, was like maybe the first key to open the door for me to realize other things that were holding back to me. So it's something I'm talking about in my book, also a card deck that I've developed where I bring actually 48 elements that helped me, I think, broaden my perspective. After a year of traveling and 3 continents, I was moving from one to another, even though I thought I'm going to start my life in San Francisco. Just before COVID, I had to leave for a short while, so I left to Costa Rica. Just before COVID started, I met my husband and never came back to the US after. And after that, I could reflect about all of this journey I've come through and experienced, and I found myself writing like a crazy scientist on notebooks and papers, those elements, those ideas that changed my mind, that broadened my perspective. And I thought I should not forget them because they were so powerful for me. And I think people should know, like, to look at the world with new eyes, or sometimes there's more than reality shows. And that's why I came to write about it in the book and also in this card deck, because this is something that I think I would love for people to know. So, for example, to accept more compassion in our life, to understand we are the one that expand our vessel. So if we feel like we are stuck somewhere and we want to grow bigger, you know, like in a plant that can't go bigger if you put it in a small vessel, but if you get a bigger one, your plant will grow bigger. And it's all within you. And just the way you can see things in yourself, in the world, can have a powerful impact on how you feel and how you create your reality.
We're just emotional plants.
Yeah.
Aren't we? And talking about the card deck.
Oh, yeah.
I love how you've packaged it as well.
Yes, thank you.
Maybe do some ASMR.
It's actually, I love those packages. It's from Fiji. Then I saw it on Fiji on my honeymoon, and then I thought this is going to be the cover of my card deck.
You just feel it sometimes. You
yes.
just know. So beautiful. So we're going to play the card game we normally play, but with your cards instead. So you'll ask yourself your own question, and then answer it as well. And if you want to ask me one, I can't read Hebrew, but you can
but I could
read
tell
one
you.
to me
if
you want.
You prefer.
We'll go with you first. Oh, there's a lot.
There's a lot. It's a double card, but it's okay. Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I can just show, perhaps. So I love this one, Finding My Inner Tree.
Yeah.
Oh, like I feel the energy already in this, and I love purple. Purple's a very like peaceful color. Huge cards. I love it.
All right.
I'm curious.
I got this one. My favorite.
Oh my gosh. Okay, go for it.
So it says the inner voice. It looks like that.
Whoa, I love it. I want that as my wallpaper.
And I assume I was supposed to ask a question or just...
ask a question to yourself. Does it have a question, or do I give you another one?
So it's a kind of an answer.
Oh.
It's giving me an answer.
Oh, okay. Oh.
But I can tell you something. If I would ask a question, if I would ask myself a question, it would be... how could I keep growing and building the career I'm aspiring to? So I'm just in the beginning of my path. and sometimes doubts come, you know. There's still so much to learn. The world is so long and big, and how can I keep on walking it? And the answer, the inner voice, is where I can find the comfort knowing that, you know, I would know where to go. There is an inner voice within me, and it's also kind of a photo that reminds us the universe as well, but I think they are aligned, and I will get an answer, and I will get the understanding from my path along as I keep on walking, and I just trust that the answers will come. So that's the answer to my question.
That's amazing, because it's fitted so well with the whole structure of the
That's why
episode.
I'm so happy. Yeah.
I can pick mine if you want. I don't really know.
So maybe first you have, instead of a question, you set a question on your own, and I will try to get you an answer.
Oh, right. Gosh, no pressure. A question that's just popped into me is, am I doing the right thing in life?
All right.
Because we are complex and we have a ton of different interests, hobbies. I'm going down this path specifically with the podcast, with happiness and exploring the human mindset and stuff, and how can we live a better life. So am I going in the right path? A really big question. I hope it doesn't say no.
It's a big, it's not going to give you an answer. I think what I like about these cards, that they're going to reflect something that's going to come from within you. So they are just going to help you pull an answer that you might already know. Let's try.
No pressure. And everyone always goes to the middle, so maybe I go, I'll see where it takes me. I'm going towards this 12.
12, so I'll just guide you to the 12 that has a photo with it. It's going to be easier for us.
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry, but 12 is what I took. The answer is inside.
Again?
Yeah.
Serious? The same?
Yeah.
Oh, no. So I have to just listen to the inner voice. Yeah, I'll pick another one. Okay.
But also it could be that,
it's the same answer. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to pick 16.
Okay, 16 would be this photo.
Looks like this. Okay. Oh, wow. Something that I'm trying to... It says gratitude. I have it in my desk as well. Well, maybe we'll put a little photo of the card on my desk that says, whatever is like happening, I need to keep being grateful for like everything. Because it's something you just overlook, forget, even though life is so fast and it's happening around you.
It's so powerful when you hold this gratitude attitude, and you come to life with, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the sun if it's up in the sky, and if it's rainy, also I'm thankful. I'm thankful for everything I have that I take for granted. And I'm just wondering, how the gratitude could come in your aspect of the question. And I think I feel like as a listener to your podcast, and maybe the audience, we are grateful for this path you chose, because it brings so much light. So it's kind of an answer maybe from whoever around you that's grateful for this path you took. So I think that's one way to look at it.
Oh, and that would keep me going forward.
Yeah.
So if people are grateful, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Gratitude, attitude. I'm going to have to get that tattooed or something to just remember it. Hey, Dana, this was amazing. We love your cards. We love the book. Let me just...
It's not a final version. It's the very, very first version that's not even been published.
Isn't it beautiful, by the way, the cover? Like, I can't wait to just have this on display and people be curious.
So that's going to be your book.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love it because it's like breaking.
Yeah.
You're just ripping your beliefs,
yeah,
what you think, the cage.
We can all do that.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yay!